This tutorial is going to go through these 10 bar chord shapes. The first row is going to be 6-string bar shapes. The second row are going to be the same qualities or types, but now in their 5-string configuration, and you will not strike the 6th string in this second row. What are bar chords? Well, bar chords are when you are laying a finger, and it's usually the first finger of your fretting hand, in my case left hand, so 1, 2, 3, 4, of course. It's when you're laying it across 2 or more strings. The smallest bar you could have would be 2 strings pressed down by the same finger. You could have 3, 4, 5, or 6. So top row, 6-string bar shapes, second row, 5th string bar shapes, 5-string bar shapes. And the most common shape that you're going to run into when you first start playing is probably this one. This is the major shape for the 6th strings barred. And usually you will see it in the 1st fret as an F chord. Keep in mind that all these chords in the top row are written starting in the 2nd fret, so they are all F sharp. F sharp major, F sharp minor, F sharp dominant 7th, etc. If we were to slide these into the 1st fret, they would all be F major, F minor, F dominant 7th, etc. All of these ones are shown in the 2nd fret with the root being on the 5th string. That is a B note. So this would be B major, B minor, B dominant 7th, etc. Which brings me to the point of why do you learn these bar chords? Because they are movable. You may move them anywhere and they will take on the name of whatever the root is. For this first row, it's wherever your 6th string is and your 1st string. They're the same note, right? But we're looking at the 6th string for the root on these. And wherever you make these shapes, their root is going to be on that 5th string. So let's start with the 1st row. Okay, we have this, and I'm going to do it as the sheet shows in the 2nd fret. So remember F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, etc. So this would be F sharp. Okay, we take the 1st finger, we are going to lay it flat across all 6 strings, and whenever you're doing a bar, you do want to be right up against the fret wire, not quite on top of it, but just to the left of that fret wire. That's always going to be the easiest place to press down, requires the least pressure, and you'll get the clearest sound. I'm going to put all of those down. It doesn't matter what it sounds like right now. We want to put all the fingers down, and then we're going to strum all 6 strings. That sounds nice and clear. If I lift off these fingers, however, those middle strings, 5th, 4th, and 3rd, I'm not pressing down very hard. I don't need to because these other fingers are going to be pressing them down for me. Part of learning to master bar chords is knowing where to apply the pressure the most with this 1st finger, and that just takes practice and experience. When we first start, we tend to press everything extremely hard and tire out our fingers. As you get better at these bar chords, you'll learn, in this case, I don't need to press hard in this middle area of my finger because these fingers are going to be the ones creating the sound. So I'm pressing very lightly here. Okay, so that's the major shape. If I move it up to the 1st fret, remember up is this way because the sound gets higher. As I go up the neck, they're taking on these names. So this is F sharp major, G major, G sharp major, A major, A sharp major, B major, C sharp. Notice I can get all those chords and I can keep going with just doing that same shape. So the bar chords are extremely useful and should be learned as soon as you can do it. All right, but beware, they do take months of practice to really get comfortable with. So just be patient. All right, if we go to the next shape, second one over in that top row, all I need to do is lift off that second finger and I've got my minor shape. So that would be F sharp minor, G minor, G sharp minor, A minor, etc. Then I'm going to go to the dominant seventh shape, and this is, again, similar to the major, except I lift off my fourth finger. And that would be my F sharp dominant seventh, or F sharp 7, G7, G sharp 7, A7, A sharp 7, B7. Okay, my pinky is not touching, a little hard to tell from the camera. Okay, then I go to the minor seventh, and I lift off that second finger as well. So I've just got, now this is one of the harder ones because I am having to get a clear sound with the bar on 5 of the 6 strings. And notice my barring finger is almost directly on top of the fret wire. It's not quite. I'm just to the left of it. If I go on top of it, I get that muted sound, but I want to be just to the left. Then I can press down and not have to press too hard to get a clear sound. So that is my minor 7 shape. That would be F sharp minor 7, G minor 7, G sharp minor 7, A minor 7. Okay, very useful to know these. Now, if we go to the second row, this is my 5-string shape, so my root is going to be on the 5th string. And these are, again, all written in B because the 5th string 2nd fret is a B note. So this would be B major, B minor. So let's talk about those. Now, that first one, back to the sheet, you'll notice right away. What is that? Well, this chord, as written, and this is a common way for people to do it, is that you're also barring that 3rd finger across strings 4, 3, and 2. Now, I will tell you, I don't do it that way. That is extremely uncomfortable for my hand. My finger does not bend that way. So I'll show you the way I do it. So in order to do that, you have to bar here, and the 3rd finger has to bar there, but it also has to bend enough to miss that 1st string. And while I can do it, it's really uncomfortable for me. In fact, it hurts a lot. So I don't do it that way. I do it 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4. So I put all these fingers separately, like when you do an A chord. That's how I do it. Whatever way you want to do it, whatever's comfortable is fine. The goal is to get a clear sound eventually. So that's how I do the B major. And then, of course, we're not going to strum this 6th string because it's X'd out in the chart for all of these. And then if I move that, B major, C major, C sharp major, D major, D sharp major, E major, F major, etc. Again, movable. Your roots on the 5th string, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, etc. And again, you won't bar higher than the 10th fret, probably not even that high, it's pretty rare. Unless you're playing electric guitar, but on acoustic guitar, not common. Then we go to the next shape. So I'm going to go back to the 2nd fret. We were on B major. Again, I do it this way. Your handout shows this way. And that's fine if you can do that. So then we do the second one to the right of that, and it's B minor. And this one's pretty comfortable. Notice it's exactly like this shape on the 6th string. It's like the major shape, but we just move everything over 1 string. So this would be B minor. And on this one, you really only need the 5th string and the 1st string to ring clearly with the bar. Those don't matter because they're going to be pressed down by these other fingers. So the B minor is pretty comfortable. Remember, don't over squeeze here in the middle of the finger. You don't need to. This would be C minor, C sharp minor, D minor, etc. We go to the next shape, dominant 7th. And again, remember that dominant 7th is the same as just saying 7th. So if you say A7, it's understood that that is a dominant 7th, but we're just being specific on this handout. So this one is just with the third string being pressed by the bar and the first string and the fifth string. Then we go to the minor 7. We put this finger back on. That would be a B minor 7. That's different than a B minor and different than a B7. Remember, these are all different types of qualities or types of chords. We call them chord qualities. That's the minor 7. And then we have the major 7. So that would be B major 7, C major 7, C sharp major 7, D major 7. And I just realized as I'm doing this that I forgot to play this one here, the major 7 in the 6th string shape. So I'm going to do that right now. And the way that one is written is now it shows playing that first string also. Usually when I play this chord, I like the sound better not having the F sharp at the top, so I would play just 5 strings. So you have the 5th in the top, the C sharp note on the 2nd string. Okay, those are the 10 chords. So again, be patient. These are very challenging, and they're easiest on electric guitar, of course, because the string tension is much less. It's much easier to press down. So you could start by learning them on electric guitar if you have them, and then graduating to steel string or nylon string. I'm doing them on a steel string acoustic, obviously, right now. And the nice thing about this, it has the narrow neck on like an electric guitar does. On a nylon string, the neck is going to be wider. The strings are further apart. You may find that more difficult or easier. One last tip before we wrap up this bar chord tutorial is that what you're looking for when you're barring is for your individual sweet spot with that first finger. Some students find that they just barely go across and they get a nice flat part of their finger. Others, it works more to what I call overbarring, where you extend that first finger up and then that area of your finger is where the flattest part is. So you'll have to kind of experiment with how high or low you want to move that bar chord to get that sweet spot on your finger. Once you get a couple of these chords down, I would suggest moving that shape back and forth, just taking one shape and trying to keep all the fingers in the same place and move them. You could just work on 1 a day, 2 a day, every other day. The point is, they take a lot of time. Be patient. You'll master them eventually with a little bit of work each day.